Right then, we have a new tie in the workshop. Right then, this thing has been sitting in the workshop for about 2 weeks. It's the first chance I've had to get to it. I opened it when I got it just to check everything was there, and it is. So, and then I brought it out here, and it's been 2 weeks sitting out here. It's the first chance I've had to get to it. Right, what it is it's a vacuum chamber. Right, I got it for 2 reasons. One, for bog oak, and 2, because with the pump, I'm also going to make a vacuum chuck for the lathe. Right, I'll if I can, I'll get making the vacuum chuck into this video if I have the time to do it. Right, okay, now it's from a crowd called Vevor, and I will be getting another piece of equipment off them as well before too long. Right, this is a 5 gallon, is it? I can't remember exactly. I can't remember which one I ordered. Right, so anyway, I'll tell you the size in a minute. Right, in the box is the lid, which after doing some research I found out that the glass ones are apparently better than the plastic ones. This one is toughened glass. I think it's a 1/4 inch thick. Right. Packed in here is a piece of packing, obviously. Right, there's a mat for the bottom of it. Some sort of non-stick mat. There's pump oil. There is the valves and stuff for the top. There is the pump itself. See if I can sell the bag. I haven't even had to sell the bag yet. There we go. It's the pump itself. Right, I'll go through the specs when I get to the instructions. Right. Rubbish bin there. There is the tubing. There's a few bits and pieces. Looks like it might be spare nuts and air filters and washers and stuff. Some more padding. There is the pot itself. And there is the instructions. Right, so the instructions, which I am going to have a look at for the first time. Okay. Yeah, it is a 5 gallon. Excuse me. It's the 5 gallon version of this, right? Let me see now. Specs, in case anybody's interested in them. Pulling a vacuum, yeah, I know how to do all that. Just look at the specs. Right, the instruction booklet doesn't look too bad at all. The list in the back of parts. There's a troubleshooting guide, maintenance. There's what every bit is. Right, in the kit there's supposed to be vacuum pump, 5 gallon chamber, charging hose, toughened glass lid, vacuum gauge, deionizer, whatever that is, a silicone pad, vacuum pump oil, and a manual, which is correct. Okay, here we go. The pump is 3.5 CFM. The ultimate vacuum is 8 bar. The motors are 1.5 horsepower. The intake's 1/4 inch. The oil capacity is 250 milliliters. The dimensions are 290 in millimeters. 290 by 120 by 220, and the weight's 5.5 kilos. I said it's the weight of the whole thing because I don't think that, oh, I might do actually. Right, now what I have as well is I have a plastic bucket that will fit down inside of this, right? So what I have to do is I have to cut this off so that it'll fit down inside. It'll keep it in here clean, right? So I'm going to do that first. Before I do anything else, I'm going to cut this bucket to fit. So I'll do that and I'll be back in a second. Right, now we have that cut and it fits in absolutely perfectly. Now, a couple of reasons I want to use this bucket is this will give me the ability to do 10-inch ball blanks in this, right? And because I'm going to be using bog oak, I want the resin to be able to get in from every side. And if you look in there, there's a little raised bit here which will lift the bottom of the blank off the ground, which means the resin can get sucked in from underneath as well. That's my theory behind it anyway. Right, so we have that, and that's ready. Right, we put that to the side for the moment. Now we get to look at this. Right, now where's them instructions? Alright, now, so the next thing we should do probably is put the lid together. Failure of the centre of the lid may result in damage. So basically don't put that in the middle of it. Failure to centre the lid may result in damage to the chamber. So basically make sure it's in the centre. Get the stickers off so I can actually see what I'm doing. And it's in there so I get a clear view of what's going on inside the chamber. Right, okay then. Now, instructions for assembling this thing. Okay, here we go. Instructions. Right, then check the parts before. Okay, right. Insert the valve, take the tempered glass lid and locate the hole where the valve needs to go in. Insert the valve. Now it doesn't say to use one of these washers, but I would imagine that you would. Rather just having brass up against glass. Right. And locate the hole where the valve needs. Install the washer and nut on the bottom. Put the washer valve. Right. It doesn't say to use one of them, but I would say that you're supposed to. Right. Okay. Another one there. Washer and the nut. That is not tightening up fully, so I might need a washer on the outside one as well. I might need a washer here as well, possibly. See if it fits. It does. Right, so there you go. Steel washer, rubber gasket washer thing. Right. Put it through, rubber gasket thingy. the washer thingy. Nut. That seems to be working this time. Have the little spanner. Yeah, that to me is still loose, so I'll put another washer onto it. They give you 4 washers. I don't know why, but I think that could do with a second washer on it, because that was quite loose. And remember, I'm putting this to glass, so I don't want to get too tight. Yep, that's solid. There's another spare washer and a spare, looks like air filter. Right then, I'm going to put these somewhere safe so I don't lose them. And I mean a proper somewhere safe, not that standard somewhere safe where you put something and you never find it again. Come over there behind me for a second, right? The instructions out of the way. Right, there's the pot lid, and the workshop is a bit of a mess because I roughed out 70 snowman blanks yesterday. Well, I didn't rough them out, I sawed them into square blanks. Right, now, that pump. Now it looks like it comes with a European style plug, but I have an adapter knocking around here somewhere. Yeah, it comes with the European style plug. As I said, I have an adapter knocking around here somewhere. I'll just find it. So I'll be back in a sec. Right, and have the European adapter. So once that's sorted, right now, how much oil goes into this? Warning, check oil before using. Okay. Right then. Alright then, it doesn't actually say how much oil you should put in it, but I guess there's a little gauge here, and let's say it probably has to be minimum like halfway. So we'll see how much oil they gave us. I can't see anything out on there. There. Oh, there might be a tiny amount coming down to it. Okay. And there we go, it's rising now. Yeah, there's enough oil in this little bottle to fill it to about halfway. Okay, it's the oil in. The O-ring back on that. Right then, where's my closest plug? Is it in the ceiling? Right there. Yeah, my closest plug is actually in the ceiling. Right, okay. Open that. Screw this hose on. Make sure there's a seal in there. There is. Stand tight. Hand tight, okay. That is roughly centered. Okay, now we get over this side, plug this into the ceiling, and we'll see what happens. Now I have heard these things are very, very quiet. The closest one is here. Throw it that way. Right, so to move this table slightly. There we go. Right then. Now, turn it on. Oh, it's really quiet. You can hear that? That is really, really quiet. Okay, right then. Let's close the valve and let's see what happens. Nothing yet. Still nothing. There could be some dust on this. Maybe then nothing's happening. There could be some dust on this. The line is always on. Make sure this is clean. I'm going to give that a wipe because I think there could be some dust on it. Yep. About even all the way around. We hit it. You can hear the pull there, so that's closed, that's open. And then I've got nothing. Let's check everything's tight. Could take a sec for everything to tighten up or something. And there was no top or bottom or anything marked on this, so I'm guessing it doesn't make a difference. But nothing is happening. Right then, I'm grabbing the manual. odds are I'm doing something wrong. I'll just leave it running there when I'm looking at the manual. The odds are I'm doing something wrong. Hang on. So set the required vacuum. How do I set vacuum? There's nothing to set vacuum with. Oh, I remember. I have to cut this little thing off the top. Yeah, I have to cut this little yoke off the top. I nearly forgot about that. I seen that in a video on one of these, not this type, but sorry, I just yanked the mic wire. I forgot that I had to cut this. I have to cut the top off this thing. I don't know if that's enough yet. No, there's no hole there. Cut a bit more off of it. There's a hole there now. There I see the hole now. Yep, there's a little hole there now. Maybe that'll do it. Oh, and here's something now. And still we have nothing happening. Am I losing vacuum somewhere or something? Let me go back to the instructions. Pump is running. There's nothing there. Right, hang on. Right, I'm going to try and figure this out. I'll be back in a sec. Hi, I ordered this off you last week and it's the first chance I've had to try it out. It won't seal. Right, the pump has oil in it. Right, the amount of oil you gave us. Right, everything's connected up. The seals are all on it. Right, there is plenty of suction. Show you now. Okay. There's tons of suction. But when I actually try and use it, actually try and get a seal on it. So it's even all the way around. Nothing happens. Absolutely nothing happens. Even if I push down hard on the lid. Right? Nothing happens. Right? Now I've had a look and I can't see any actual holes in it. Right? There's no debris in the way. Everything's perfectly clean. Right? Inside here, I don't know if there's a pinhole in one of those wires or something, but for some reason it won't seal. can you advise me please or send a replacement, because this one doesn't work. Right, it's been about 3 weeks since the last bit of this video. Now, I have to say Vevor's after sales service is absolutely fantastic. I was getting an email every couple of days just to keep me updated. Right, what had happened was, when this unit was packed, whoever packed it had forgotten to put this seal in. Right, it's a seal, it just goes over the top of the pot. The lid goes on it. Right, I've tested it out already, it works perfectly. I put it on, brought it up to pressure, closed everything off, closed the blue valve off and stuff, and I left it there for 2 days and it did not drop an ounce. Right, so turn it on, give it a wee squeeze to get it started, he says, and of course it won't. There we go. Right, and up she goes. Right, now that'll go up to, what I got it up to is, the gauge goes up to -30. I've got it up to 28. I think it's called inches of mercury is the measurement. Right, so I'll turn that off now, right, and we'll get something into it, so we'll actually see what happens. Right, now what I'm using is, I'll be using long set resin. It takes a week for it to go off. Some people are going to want to know why I'm not using cactus juice. Right, in Ireland, cactus juice is extremely expensive, right, and it's got a really short shelf life. Right, I was reading up on it and stuff. Once you mix it, you have to use it within a month. I would only want it for bog oak, and it would basically be a case of, I'd need to know what project I'm doing next year at a bog oak to use it. So I got this really long set resin. It takes a week to go off. Another reason that I don't want to use cactus juice is I want to use colour in the resin. Right, the blank I have ready to go at the moment is for this idea I have in my head. I don't even know if it's going to work or not. Right, so what I'll do is I'll set up for doing that, and we'll see what happens when resin goes into the vacuum and so forth. Right, so I'll set up for that and I'll be back in a sec. Right then, I'm doing resin, so I have a mask on. What I have in there is, I have a bog oak blank, which I very carefully, along with the help of some tape, turned down to round so it'll fit in this mould. The mould is basically 2-litre plastic bottles taped one on top of the other one. Right, and what I'm going to do is pour red resin in on top of that, hoping that there's enough here. I haven't done this before, so I haven't used this before, but what I've read is that you have to make sure that the resin is above the level of the blank, so that it gets sucked into the blank. Right. It's quite a tall blank, so I'm going to have to give it a minute to get down in there. And I have the mould jammed up with some other just pieces of wood and rough turned salt bowls, just to make sure it doesn't fall over, because this table can't stay in the middle of the workshop, especially this time of year, because I'm up to my tonsils. It's still going down, so a bit more. Now apparently when I'm doing this resin is going to bubble up. And what I have to do is to watch it, and if it starts going up to the top of the mould, I basically have to shut it off, let pressure out until the bubbles go down, and then go again. And just keep doing that until
the bubbles stop. As I said, this is really long set resin. Takes a bit of week for it to go off. There's about ½ an inch of resin on top of it at the moment. Odds are I'm going to need more, and I forgot to put the blue bucket in. So I hope this thing does not leak. What that is? What that is there? I don't know what that is. It shouldn't leak, it's like solid plastic. Some more in there. Alright then, we'll give that a shot and see what happens. You should be able to see from up there exactly what's happening to the resin. Close that one off, make sure it's centered. Start the pump. And we're moving. I'm going to keep my finger on the switch here just in case that resin decides to come up over the top. It's just really bubbling, isn't it? It's supposed to pull the air out of in the bag oak and it's supposed to suck the resin into it. So hopefully that's what it does. Oh, that is really bubbling. Now, I'm not actually worried about getting this blank out of the mould because I can just turn it away. That looks really weird. It doesn't seem to be rising that much, which is good. It's certainly pulling air out. Right, we're up to 25 inches of mercury. Right, it's starting to rise, so I'm going to stop it there for a minute. Let it get rid of the air that's in there. Looks like lava, the red colouring. It's holding steady at 26. And I'll wait till the bubbling goes down a bit, and then I'll hit it again. Just so you can see what's happening, I'll leave the camera running but speed it up a hell of a lot until the bubbling slows down, and then I'll do it again. Right, and the bubbling slowed way down, so we'll see if we can get it up to 28. Make sure it doesn't rise too high. That's rising. Oh, off again. So we're going to wait again. Something I was warned about was when you're doing this, if it does start to bubble over, the one thing you must not do is slam that red switch over, because everything will just basically explode in there. Right, and that could take hours to stop bubbling. Right, now I know I said I'd try and do the vacuum chuck in this video, but this one is taking a lot longer than I thought it would with the problems that we had. So I'll do the vacuum chuck in a separate video. See as how I now have a vacuum pump. Not having a vacuum chuck doesn't really make sense. It was one of the reasons why I got this, as I said at the start. I got it to do bog oak with the vacuum chamber part, but I also want to do a vacuum chuck with the pump. So I hope you found that one interesting. If you wouldn't mind leaving a like on the video. I'll turn this in a different video, and I'll see you in the next one.